Hi guys, I have a special treat for you guys. It's your girl Lola Loves You, and I'm back with another video. And today's video is entitled Sisters in Song. The comparison of Whitney Houston and Miki Howard. It was not a rivalry video. It's just a friendly comparison of the two, and it's not a video about their personal friendship. Only God, Whitney, and Miss Howard know their true friendship and how they met, or whatever the case may be. So this is nothing about, oh, I know the personal details about their friendship, or oh, Miki didn't like Whitney or Whitney didn't like Miki. No, that's not this. This is not that type of video. Both Whitney and Miki came from musical families. Miki's mother was a gospel singer, as well as Whitney Houston's mother, a gospel singer. Both females longed for their mama. Miki longed for her father as well, because Miki's father was always on the road. He was a musical performer as well. I think both of these young ladies started off in life two beautiful young ladies, and their moms were hard workers. And sometimes, especially for back in the day, people, they had to go to work, and they would, leave their kids, not to say to fend for themselves, but they had to grow up a little faster than others. Not so much Whitney, but Miki definitely. Miki had to grow up very fast, and Miki became very street smart, but very wise. Both women were very intelligent. They're intelligent women, and they're sweethearts. They're humble, but Miki has a more edge to herself, personality wise. She's not going to bite her tongue, where Whitney Houston is more laid back and will kind of bite her tongue. Well, we know Whitney Houston started off as a background singer, and then later on became a backup singer for her mother. And Miki Howard started off as a background singer, and she was part of the group called The Side Effect. And they was even on, they had a few albums, and they were on Soul Train. So she got her first start with Soul Train with The Side Effects. Now, Whitney Houston got signed in 1982, but her album didn't debut until 1985. So it was a lot of promotion and a lot of work behind her album. At this time in 1985, Miki Howard got signed with Atlantic Records as a solo artist. Now, both of these women in the early 80s, I don't know so much of their tithing. Well, Whitney, I know her tithing to the Jackson family. She and Jermaine Jackson allegedly had a love affair. Miki Howard, allegedly, I remember someone saying that Joe Jackson, which is the Jackson family father, used to manage her. So I heard he used to manage her, but she has a son named B. Howard, and he's very talented. He looks like a young Michael Jackson. He fits right into the Jackson family. And I just remember her on the interview saying that, the Jackson families, when they would get the grandkids, her son would be part of the kids that they would pick up on the weekends, she said. And I'm like, wow, he looked like them, but I don't know. I don't think that, she have a child by any of the Jacksons. I don't know if she had a relationship with any Jackson. I don't know this. Only Miki Howard can tell you these things, but I don't know. But her son really looks like Michael Jackson, her second son. Also, she has a duet with Jermaine Jackson, and Whitney Houston has a duet with Jermaine Jackson. Very similar. I keep telling y'all, Miki and Whitney has a lot in common. While Clive Davis was getting ready for Whitney Houston's debut album in 1985, a lot of producers, songwriters were creating a lot of things for Whitney Houston's album, and a lot of things got scrapped. A lot of songs got scrapped. A lot of songs that other artists later on took and made them popular for themselves, Clive Davis turned down for Whitney Houston, or Whitney Houston recorded it and Clive Davis just scrapped the songs. One of the songs that was supposed to be on the Whitney Houston album that was scrapped was a song entitled Come Share My Love. And Come Share My Love Miki Howard debut album, that was her lead single, Come Share My Love. If you listen to that song, you hear Whitney Houston all throughout the song. And it's no disrespect to Miki Howard. When people compare Miki Howard to Whitney Houston, that's flattery. That is a major compliment because Whitney Houston is the number one diva, the number one voice. But Miki Howard has the same amount of talent, beauty, and work ethic. But Miki chose R&B and jazz, and Whitney went the pop route. Now, that song was a major hit in the 80s. So I remember hearing Come Share My Love as a child, as a little child. Probably like the song came out in 86. Was just born. I remember around 2 and 3 hearing that song on the radio. They played that on all the urban radio stations around the world. That song, everybody know Come Share My Love. And it sounds so reminiscent of a Whitney Houston song. And I think that's how Miki Howard got the Whitney sound. And it probably, her being a new artist, it kind of was annoying to her as well. I'm quite sure she was flattered, but she wanted to, make her own name. You understand what I'm saying? So I believe that's how the Whitney Houston comparison came about because that song, it was just made for Whitney, but Miki made it her own. And both of them have the same song pattern and tone of voice. It's like perfection voice. Miki Howard's voice was very perfection. Like it was perfection back in the day. Just like Whitney Houston's voice was perfection, Miki Howard's voice was just as great as Whitney Houston's voice. And y'all can do y'all research on her performances. Oh my gosh. Miki Howard was a force to be reckoned with, but in my opinion, a bad record company. I just think the record label, and watching Unsung, Miki Howard said that they wanted a Whitney Houston, but they was being cheap with her. They didn't want to give her a big time budget. When you are, back in the day, now times have changed, times are different. Back in the day, a young black female artist and you want to cross over, if you don't go the pop route or more up-tempo songs, you are going to get lost in the sauce and you're going to be in a box. And my opinion with Miki Howard, since she didn't take the Whitney Houston route, she was left in the R&B box. But she had another big-time contender, Anita Baker. You see, Anita didn't go to pop because she said, Anita Baker said, even on an interview, that she would never want to challenge Whitney Houston, or not saying compete against her, but she would never want to, sing against her. She said Whitney Houston was, hands down the best singer. Where she stayed in the R&B lane, you have Miki Howard reminiscent of Whitney Houston and also reminiscent of Anita Baker. Hairstyling, outfits, and so she's caught in the middle. That's like, what I'm saying? Like, that's just a bad place to be. And now you have Anita dominating the R&B charts, and you got Whitney dominating the pop charts. So Miki is in the middle somewhere. Now it's funny that Anita Baker loves Whitney Houston, but allegedly, I heard this on Wendy Williams' interview back in the day when she interviewed Miki Howard. Miki Howard said Anita Baker was very mean to her. At the Soul Train Music Awards, after Miki Howard won Best New Artist, backstage, Anita Baker came to her and whispered in her ear and told her, "Oh, make sure, honey, you keep that dusted off, because that's the only award you will ever be getting in your career." Shady. Now with newfound success with her second to third album, Miki Howard was getting her name more out there. At the Soul Train Music Awards, she winning Best New Artist, where Whitney Houston's getting booed on the stage. Now I think Whitney started to sit back and think about her, how she come across to the urban sector of music. And Miki Howard third album, in my opinion, is her best album ever. And I believe that Whitney took notes on that album, and that's how the creation of I'm Your Baby Tonight came about, the album. Now, I'm telling y'all, Go listen to Mickey Howard. Um, Ain't Nothing in This World on her third album. That sounds just like a Whitney Houston song. Oh my gosh. Now you think Come Share My Love sound like Whitney Houston? Listen to that song. That song was a very great song for Mickey Howard's voice, vocal wise. You could tell she was nothing to play with, and she was true competition for Whitney Houston. Her voice sounds so good. I mean, the range, the high note she hit. I mean, even at the end, listen to the very last end of the song, how she just hit those high notes. Um, During this album, I think Mickey Howard, in my opinion, was in love. I believe that's when she met her husband, and I believe she was in love. Now her second album, you could tell she was going through a, not say a heartache, but she was begging to be loved, in my opinion, with Baby Be Mine. Oh my gosh. Now that's another thing too. Please check out the Apollo. Mickey Howard performs Baby Be Mine at the Apollo. That's when I knew Mickey Howard was no joke. And it's not funny. I only found this out maybe a few months ago on YouTube. Somebody uploaded. I never remember seeing that performance because I was a child. I was like 2 years old when that song came out. And to see that lady come on stage so gorgeous and by herself, and the song, she performed that song perfection. I mean, you felt her heart. And that's one thing I love about Mickey Howard as well as Whitney Houston. Both of them, they really give the true meaning of love. They bring the true meaning of love out in the song. So, like with Mickey Howard, I can tell what she was doing really great in her life, or she was in love, or she was, you know, confessing her love. And that's what's her second album called, Love Confessions? And I get it. So wherever Mickey Howard was in her headspace and her heartstrings, that was tied to her music. And her third album was phenomenal. And so it makes me angry because that album should have at least won a Grammy for Best R&B Album. It was phenomenal. Her look was really together and more polished. I loved that asymmetrical hairstyle she would wear. Like it was full and high at the top and short in the back. It was very nice on her. It really looked nice on her. I just loved her. I just loved the whole concept of the album. Now, during this time of the album, she's in love with her husband. You know, she got married. She's about to get married. And, you know, she found a new love. You know, she allowed this man to come in and to manage her. So she is in love under new management. This song is very true. Now, this is where the similarities of Mickey Howard and Whitney Houston comes, like it really goes parallel. Mickey and Whitney both were very lovable young women. And they came into the game just wanting to sing. That was their main accomplishment, just to sing, just to show the world their talent and share the love of music with the world. And both of these young ladies, they were yearning to be loved. And I believe the first man that asked them, you know, to marry them and, you know, kind of meant it, they said yes. Whitney Houston looking around for boyfriends and allegedly and come across Bobby Brown. He asked her. She said yes. Mickey Howard just got out of a bad situation. You know, not a bad situation. She just lost the love of her life, Gerald Levert. And then this guy just come across and now she gets pregnant and then she marries him after a few months. And it's just like allegedly. But this was confirmed on Unsung. And it's just like, wow, both of these women just married these two men that they didn't know about. They married both these men they don't know nothing about. Both of these men are street men. Now, Mickey Howard has a more edge to her. Whitney Houston, she has an edge, but it's not her true persona. Mickey Howard is a humble woman, but you could tell it's don't start and I won't be none. You could tell she just don't play, but she's a sweetheart. But she very charismatic, very funny, but she will speak her mind and let you know how she feel about it, and you cannot do nothing about it. um, so both of these women entered a marriage in a prime of their careers, and both of them became surprised of their husbands once they got married. They really know who the person they married. And definitely with Miki Howard, she didn't know who she was marrying. She didn't know how that man was really a street dude. You know what I'm saying? How she said how he was so nice and sweet to her, and then, you know, she's starting to become an abusive marriage, having, being in an abusive marriage, as well as Whitney Houston allegedly. And with these things, a lot goes on. Now, the comparisons kind of differ because Whitney Houston careers goes to the moon. Miki Howard careers dwindle due to both of them had bad behavior husbands, but Whitney Houston have a name. Whitney Houston has that luxury. Whitney Houston has fixers all around her. Miki Howard still trying to get her name sealed. You understand what I'm saying? She's still trying to get her name solidified. And by this time, her husband messed it up for her record company, Atlantic Records, which I didn't really think that was a good record company for her in the first place. So they drop her, and she's trying to sign to, she signed to Giant Records. And in my opinion, Giant Records was not a good place for any artist to be. At that time, they was really focused on Jade. And I remember on an interview, Miki Howard said how disrespectful the record company was. Like, she was in a meeting and Jade walked in, these young girls, way younger than her, and they told her to get up and let them sit down. And she was like, no, she will not. That was so disrespectful. So you see what type of label Giant was, allegedly. So now, Whitney is carrying on with her career. Whitney Houston is America's sweetheart. Bodyguard, honey. She's at the moon in the galaxy. Miki Howard now is in an abusive relationship, abusive marriage. Her record company, her and her record company is not getting along, and she's trying to get a divorce from her husband. And the last string was Miki Howard wanted her money from Giant Records, the money or whatever advancement they promised her. They did not come through with the money. So she asked her husband at the time that, she needed money for the kids. She needed to take care of her kids. She's a mama. And by him not wanting to give her the money, so he figures though he's going to go to Giant Records and, get the money for her so she could, leave him alone. So whatever happened, he tears the office building up. And in the movie Love Under New Management, which is an excellent TV One movie, a movie about Miki Howard's life, he broke her nose in the office. This broke her nose and did damage to her vocal cords. Like, not vocal cords, but it did damage to the sound of her voice. And when you are a singer, especially with a talent like Miki Howard, perfection, the voice was perfection. That had to be a low blow for Miki Howard. That had to be very devastating to get your nose broken. And then at the time, she's really cool with Chaka Khan. Her and Chaka Khan is, partying up, doing illegal substance together. And, she's just probably venting to Chaka Khan and, and Chaka Khan probably trying to lift her friend's spirit up. So, a person can feel when something not right and their career ain't going right, and you can feel it. And I believe Miki was running from that. And that's how she became addicted to drugs. Being a drug addict, playing around with drugs. I believe that's how it happened. Now, the difference between Miki and Whitney's playing around with drugs as well. Whitney still got the luxury of her name. She got the money. She got the fixers around her. So she's good. She still got her record deal, and, she's still making music. Miki Howard, now, after her husband pulled that stunt, she's blackballed. Nobody wants to work with her. I do remember she was supposed to get a deal with RCA, I think, and something happened. It just fell through because, somebody got that phone call and said, don't she a problem. Now, I do believe Mickey Howard at the time did have a kind of a diva attitude in some ways. And not to say that's who she was. I believe when you're in a bad situation, abusive marriage and abusing drugs and things like that, you're going to be annoyed. And like I said, Mickey Howard is one of those people that speak her mind. So I believe her actions were result of being in an abusive marriage. So I believe that's why sometimes she probably would act out or have attitudes or things like that. So now in the industry, we already know if you get one chance, you can't mess it up. I believe Mickey Howard made a mess. She made a mistake, an honest mistake, in letting her husband getting into her business affairs. And we know with this business, especially with a black woman, you only get one chance. So she made that mistake and there was no more chances for Mickey. And I feel so bad for her because she was such a true talent. A very talented woman. Now, she gets arrested on the movie Love Under New Management. And I never knew Mickey Howard got arrested. I never knew that she got arrested, but Whitney Houston dodged from being arrested. So you see what I'm saying? Mickey Howard, nobody knew this about her, and you know what I'm saying, because no one really knows. She's not a household name. Whitney Houston dodged her charges because she had the fixers, the lawyers and things like that, and the counselors that said, oh, she's fine and things like that. Now, this is where reality hits in. Whitney Houston lives behind her luxury, her name, the luxuries, her money, and her fixers. Now, Mickey Howard, she has to take accountability for everything that she do because she still is a normal person to society. She don't have the luxury behind her name. So she has to take ownership and accountability for any and everything she do. It's not like she can hide behind it or pay it to go to, or pay people off or make it go away. She has to live in her reality. You understand what I'm saying? She's not in no mansion with millions and you understand what I'm saying? She can't hide. So she has to, pick herself back up and dust herself off and, be a survivor and be a warrior, which she really is. Now, at the same time, Mickey Howard is a mom to three kids. And at the end of the day, she still was working. She still was taking any little gig she could get. She was doing it. She was working. Now, she decided to go to rehab and turn her life around, which I commend her. And she overcame her addiction. Whitney, on the other hand, she tried to overcome her addiction, but I believe at the end of the day, her addiction caused her passing at a young age. It's so funny that Mickey Howard loved Billie Holiday, and the Billie Holiday story, Lady Sing the Blues, and Whitney Houston loves Sparkle, and you know what happened to Sparkle in the movie. Both of these women were suffering from broken hearts. Maybe it came from when they were little girls or in their adult years, or just not being with their true loves. Mickey Howard's true love was Joe Levert. In my opinion, Whitney Houston's true love was Robin Crawford. Both of these women were, how do I want to put it? Mickey was confessing her love to Joe Levert, but Whitney couldn't take the pressures of society being in her business and just people judging her. So she pushed, in my opinion, Robin away. At the end of the day, we know Whitney Houston is the voice, iconic legacy. And Mickey Howard had the makings, the great makings. She's legendary. It had the great makings of a legacy. But at the end of the day, was it worth it? Was it worth it not being an iconic diva? Who wins in this situation? In my opinion, I think Mickey won. But Whitney Houston, in my opinion, She just wasn't strong enough. And I don't think, not to say Whitney Houston the person, I believe Whitney Houston back in the day was strong enough, but as drugs take a toll on you, it takes a toll on your mental. And I believe Whitney Houston was out of her mind. Where, in my opinion, Miki Howard snapped out of it and said, "No, not gonna go down like this. I'm fighting for my life. I got kids. I'm someone's daughter. I got so much to offer to life, so I'm not going out like that." So I do believe Miki, in my opinion, was stronger than Whitney in conquering her addiction. It's just so funny that, Whitney Houston, like I said, this big time legacy, but she's no longer here. Miki Howard almost had that big time iconic legacy, but she's still here and she's still enjoying her life. She looks wonderful. She's a mom and she's a grandmother, and she loved being a mom and a grandmother. You can see it. You can see it. She has a glow and a shine about herself, especially when she talks about her grandbabies. Miss Howard, if you ever see this video, just know I love you and you are a true amazing talent. Thank you for sharing your gift to the world. And you are such a beautiful woman inside out. It's crazy that people, when they pass, oh, she could sing, oh, she was such a great person. But why didn't you tell them why they still was here? Tell Miki Howard that now. Any honey bunny on here that's a Miki Howard fan, go to her Instagram page and say, "Miki, we love you." And give her a rose, her flowers. Let her know how much you appreciated her. And let her know what's your favorite song of hers. Miki Howard, I'm so sorry how the industry did you. I know it wasn't all the industry fault, but I know it was a lesson learned. And I really wish that somebody would have given you a second chance. Do I see a Grammy in the future for you? Yes, indeed. I saw you performing in Vegas. I heard you hitting them high notes on key. You still got it. Don't stop, Miss Howard. You still got it. I believe it takes the right person, the right situation, the right group of people. Because, in my opinion, Miki Howard never had that true foundation and a true backing for her talent. Like, for people promoting her, you rarely ever saw her on magazine covers. The only cover I remember that was a national magazine was Jet magazine. And then this happened. Then, then that's when the drama started happening into her music career and in her personal life. I just feel so sorry for Miki Howard because she is the true unsung individual from the Unsung series. I just feel as though she got, I feel as though she was, I'm not going to say she was robbed, but I feel like she was slighted and overlooked. There's no reason, beautiful as that woman was, her eyes, she has beautiful eyes that she didn't never had a makeup campaign, why she was never on a cover of an Essence magazine or, things like that. I never remember seeing her in magazines back in the day. And I do remember Miki Howard saying that her record label just gave her like one photo shoot and said, "Here go your pictures, here go your press photos." And, Whitney Houston has gazillion of photos. So I just feel bad in the situation that she had the bad, in my opinion, the bad management, bad record deal, and just not someone really fighting for her career. She can't do it herself. You understand what I'm saying? So she needed help. She needed a true backing. But anyway, Miss Howard, I just want to let you know that you are good enough and you are just as good as Whitney Houston. Coming from a true Whitney Houston fan, I see you. I love you, Miss Howard. Anyway, it's your girl Lola loves you. And I'll be back with another video. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you remember Miki Howard? And what is your favorite Miki Howard song? And go on Miki Howard Instagram and let her know that us honey bunnies, we love her. Give her a rose, send her a flower emoji, and let her know. Give her her flowers while she's still here.